I'm annoyed.
Well, hang on. You know, I already hit the live button.
We're live.
Yeah, why not?
Fuck.
You gotta wait 15 seconds before you can say any bad words, or we'll get demonetized, Lewis. Just kidding. I don't even know if that is real anymore.
Wait, did I already swear? I didn't even realize.
Maybe I was just giving you a warning.
You could have been. Yes.
What's up, everybody? How we doing today? How's everybody out there? I see a lot of people already in the chat. That's good. We got some movement here. Let me see. Just keep getting your stuff going. Yeah. We got Zez coming to us live from wonderful Europe. He's got his setup looking clean back there, way cooler than mine is. I did at least add.
We can talk about this.
I did at least add a. I keep forgetting which shoulder to point over. This lovely lava lamp.
Lava lamp, dude. You are living in the 90s still. That's so good.
It's never ending here. What's up?
Never ending.
So yeah, we're about to get started. I'm gonna explain a little bit more about the thumbnail because it isn't baloney. There are going to be 3 CRTs revealed here for sale.
Okay.
So we'll just let the chat get rolling, let these get rolling like usual. Got my buddy says, yeah.
Got that.
What were you saying annoyed by?
Okay, I'll tell you why I'm annoyed. Because I just bought. Here's what happened. I just bought myself a Guitar Hero guitar. Look at this. Here it is. It looks cool. Now the listing says Xbox 360, and it was a genuine picture of this guitar, but I didn't look close enough to realize that right there, that would be an Xbox logo if this was actually from an Xbox 360. No, this is a PS2 Guitar Hero guitar, and they notoriously all need a dongle. This does not come with the dongle. So I'm annoyed, Steve, because I could have worked this out. If I had looked closer at the picture, the text says Xbox 360, but this is clearly PS2. Now the good part of this, I only bought it for $12. So hey, what are you gonna do? All right, nothing. But a whole bunch of these just went up in my local area, and I was like, no, this is the one I want. I'm the smart guy. I'm gonna get this one. No, I was not the smart guy. Narrator, over the top. I got the one that doesn't work, the PS2 one that doesn't have a dongle, so I'll have to wait for another day to find. I just want to play some Guitar Hero. I just me, I love my big controllers, and I screwed it up. You can't get the dongles. They don't I
love it. Yeah, right. The dongles that's always the thing, the dongle.
That's why I wanted to buy the Xbox 360 version, because it doesn't need a dongle. So I was like, yo, I'm super clever. I'll just get that. I could buy it like Wii. I don't care which system I got it for, PS3, Wii. I don't really mind. And I was like, Xbox 360, they don't need. But I didn't look close enough at the picture. So always look at the picture, guys.
Always look at the fine details. That's pretty funny.
Yes.
But that's whatever happened with that deal, I can't remember, about a year or so ago where you got shipped
yes,
like a PlayStation 3, right, or something?
Right. So I'd meant to buy the PlayStation 3 gun, which eventually I do actually have up there. I got another one when I was in London. And instead of the PS3 gun, the guy just sent me a PS3. It was just the super slim, right? The slidey door one. The guy just sent me that instead. And I got it out the other day. It works. Cleaned it up. It's fine. It works totally fine. And the only difficulty with that PS3 is that they're a little harder to soft mod, or I don't want to say harder, but it's not as good of a soft mod, the hen, if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, now it's just a backup PS3, I guess. It's weird. If you're going to scam me, just send me a brick or something, just send me a lump of dirt. Don't actually send me an actual other PS3 worth, I don't know, 20, 30, $40.
Oh my gosh, that's something. Yeah.
Oh, you've taken off the glasses. You're not Dr. Steve disrespect.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, no, I would definitely like knock something important over if I leave those on because I can't see very well. Speaking of that, like speaking of not paying attention to details, I did a stream last week where I worked on the first. We'll go ahead and give a little teaser so anybody who was at the last stream will know. The first CRT under here, maybe the one that I worked on last week on the live stream. But I put the thing all back together, and what I did was I made the cap kit live, and I was pulling caps off, and my eyes, I don't feel like they're very good anymore. Like, they're getting worse this year.
You're getting old, yeah.
And I'm looking at the values on the caps, and I, like, missed decimal places and add decimal places on 2 caps. And, like, when I fire the CRT up, it looks nuts. Like, half the screen's missing. And I'm like, oh, what did I do wrong? And then I had to go back and scramble, and you'll see what it looks like now. But yeah, not paying attention to those details could come back to bite you sometimes. It almost bit me.
So it wasn't like a problem or something. It didn't permanently damage.
Yeah, no, thankfully not. But what it did was it was like so here's what I had. I had one cap was a 4.7 microfarad cap. And I replaced it, thought it said 47. So that's a big difference. And the other one, I thought it said 2.2. So I replaced it with the 2.2. Well, it said 22. So the combo of those two. And so the way I figured this all out was I had to go back and I save all the old caps before I throw them away. And that's what I did. I had to go back and check every cap and say, oh, well, these two don't exactly match what I wrote. And everything else did, but not this one. So,
all right, so you're getting a little in your yesteryears, the later years, Steve. You got to be a bit more precise, do you, about your cap kits?
I got to be like, that's the thing. I'm like triple, quadruple checking things now because I just keep doing so much stupid stuff. It's just like I'm too old to rely on my eyeballs all the time.
Is there some circumstance where an incorrect cap could cause a permanent damage somewhere?
Probably, yeah. And then there's also like stuff where if the value's close, you may never tell, right? So it's not like everything. That's the funny thing. Everybody thinks every cap is like precise, where a lot of times it might not matter. Like over half the time, if you go up actually in microfarads on one value on these machines, but sometimes, but nobody's gonna tell. Nobody needs to say that really, because then something will happen. Because where something is precise, but on some machines, it's not gonna hurt it if it goes that way. All right, guys. Sure. So we got Rob. So we got some people we got some people here. I'm gonna do say what's up to some people. Early droppers here. We got Final Boss Engaged. Thanks for showing up, Rob Cat. Scruffy looking RGB. Welcome back, Felipe.
Hey, Scruffy.
Darth. NDPX. Demon Child. Ronnie, welcome back. Chris Broom. And Dante. There we go. Everybody here. You're here. You're live. We're here.
Doing good.
So, Lewis, have you watched... I wanted to ask you a pop culture global question right now.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to someone like you that is living in Estonia and from Australia, have you been watching... Do you watch any Olympics at all?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Well, then never mind.
I don't have any free-to-air, or I don't really, we have Netflix and that's about it. So, no, I haven't been up to date on that. Have you been watching the Olympics? Is there something I should be aware of?
Well, no, I was just wondering because I just wondered who you would cheer for being both countries.
Oh, yeah.
If you did,
well, Estonia doesn't have many.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, I didn't know how many events people they would even send. Here, they put it all over like the regular free over-the-air channels. It's on all day. Like, what's up, P.O.?
So when you're, I mean, as you've alluded to, when you're a small country, it is, difficult sometimes. You get to send a certain amount of people, but so what it means though is like if you're good at anything, you'll get exposure. And one of the biggest sports stars in Estonia, we have a world champion in our midst, and we go bananas for any world champion. But our world champion is friggin' disc golf. This chick is the best in the world at disc golf. And, right on, I'm not the best at the world, but she's all everywhere, getting the advertising all over the billboards, the media for being best at the world at disc golf. So I guess that comes from me as well. If you want to be obscure, I'm not the world's greatest comedian, but I was doing okay in Estonia, right? So there's got to be something for living out here on the edge of the empire.
That's
I don't know, disc golf. I'm not best in the world, but I'm just like, isn't it just throwing a frisbee?
Yeah, well, I mean, have you ever played disc golf?
No.
Oh, well, see, we could have, next time you come back, there's like parks of that all over the place here.
Right, but I've thrown a frisbee before. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you got to aim it at a basket. It's not like a catch it in the basket. It's like get a couple of throws. Anyway. Yeah.
Is anyone in the chat like disc golf? Have I just offended some super disc golf people in the chat?
I don't think you would have. Yeah, I doubt there's like, they're probably out playing disc golf right now in the middle of the day. If they, yes. So anyway. All right, guys. Yeah, let's see what else is going on.
Got some stuff going on here.
You
got sell some CRTs. I got a few stories here from what we could see in the background. You could see the little guy there. That's my new 14-inch Trinitron that just came in. It's lovely. SCART RGBS on the back, composite on the front. The remote came. It's clean. It looks good. I mean, I know we got a little bit of rolling here, but I got Sega Rally playing on it there right now. It's real nice. Help me out. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm trying to get into the service menu. I have the remote control, and the manual says that you've got to do that button combination on the remote. And this one, it says on-screen display, then 5, then volume up, then power button. And that's how you would get into it. And the difficulty that I'm having is the power button doesn't work for turning it on. Now, I know the power button works because if the set's on, I can turn it off and press the power button and it turns off. But if it's sitting there in standby, the power button doesn't work to turn on. And I don't know if that's stopping me getting into the service menu. Have you seen anything like this, Steve?
Well, that's what's stopping you, yeah, because you have to have it in standby mode and then press the button to turn it on.
Right. That's the final button. And for some reason,
yeah, it's weird how it's working one way and not the other.
Yeah.
Do you have another remote? Okay.
Try the same thing with a second remote. Here, wait.
So this is a TV problem?
This is the one that it came with, and this is the other one, and they both work. So we can see Sega Rally in the background, and bam, turned it off. All right, with that button. Now I'll press it again. It's not. Nothing's gonna go. The other one doesn't. But what I'll do is I'll press. Let's say going straight to AV. There's a middle button there. Wait, that's so that. If I press the channel, see, there we go, channel, and then switch to... Oh, wait, now the whole thing's screwed. Channel there, and then... Oh, now it's great. Now it's lost. Oh, there we go. It's got sync again. So I've turned it back on.
How did you even turn it on?
By pressing a channel, by pressing the channel up button, which takes it out of standby mode, as you say. So yeah, weird that it doesn't respond to anyone in the chat. Gravitone's got my back. He says that his one had the same one, so I have to press channel to turn it to TV channel, and then switch to an AV. And then Sega Rally's back. So yeah, weird one. If anyone's in the chat has encountered that, I need your help.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I've never seen that. That's odd. I would try different, but I don't know what to. You're not going to get into it without without getting the remote working. But that does have
Without
the faux wood, right? It looked really good on those pictures you showed.
Wait, faux wood? That's
Like, doesn't it have like a little different colored button area?
Not really. It's just like black plastic. Maybe there was something different. It's all black, and then black shiny. No fake wood. I don't know which one that was. I was looking at something else maybe.
Okay.
So, great set. Love. I mean, standard European RGB. That's looking nice. Like even the composite is very nice. No S video, but that's okay.
And how much did you pay for it? Right, $50 or something.
$45 for that one. So 40. So I'm happy.
Can't beat that either way.
No, I don't think so either. And maybe that's my how to say, as the market here moves on, because that was, I was saying last week, that was on sale for like a week and a half, and there was a bunch of dudes like writing questions. Can you show us the model number? And I'm like, just friggin' buy it for $45. So what that tells me is the people in this market don't want to pay $45 for a good set, which means my advantage is that I can still, as the market evolves, it becomes less. Okay, yeah, if I can jump on something, I might still be able to get it. So,
yeah, people can be lazy too at those low price points and stuff, and I don't know, a lot of stuff. I'll look at Facebook Marketplace and stuff just sits there. I mean, who knows if it actually sells or whatever. Selling stuff isn't as easy.
You were tweeting today just about the it is still possible to get cheap CRTs. I mean, for $10, $40, something in that range, it's still absolutely possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. What else are you gonna get? You can barely get like a meal at McDonald's for $40 anymore. So I don't know what, like, you get your TV. That's the thing. TVs are always cheap in America, baby. We keep those TVs cheap. Got to keep them cheap. New ones and old ones. All right. Yeah, so on that, look at this. Look at this amazing, everyone. Let's get ready. Look at this amazing
cloth
that I have to reveal. To big reveal.
You're like a magician.
That's right. Whew. Matches my shirt. So this was just, yeah. My wife's gonna be my wife's gonna be pissed. She's wondering where the curtain went. Right? Where's the curtain for the living room? Well, hopefully I won't get it dirty. So let's just. I'm gonna get up and do this so I don't actually knock something over.
Here we go. So we're about to unveil something. What is it? Can you at least?
Okay.
TVs, I assume.
Yeah. What we have here, folks. What we have here is a fully restored CRT from the 1980s. Ooh, and it will be some other facts. Let's see. The tube is made by Toshiba. It's a shadow mask monitor. It's 13 inches, and it's about to be revealed, I guess. All right, let's see. Let's go for it. Come on.
Da, 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 da. Hi, Vaporwave. Hi, everyone. Is it a Zenith? What is this Toshiba tube from the 80s?
There you go.
Woo-wee. JVC.
It's more sexy music than that. Oh. Yeah.
JVC, baby. Whack it in that JVC. Yeah, baby. So what is the story of this
definitely monitor? Need this. These glasses see it feels so creepy. So
Dr. CRT, respect.
Oh yeah, this was a good one. So this CRT, it is a JVC. See if I get that closer. It's 1987. When I bought it, it was in just absolutely disgusting condition, pretty much untested from a salvage yard. There we go, a little closer. And so one of the things, I opened it up and it all had, I grabbed it first and it had like a sticky slime all over it, like the outside. It was wonderful, right? So you grab it here, and you're like, and then I started sniffing around, and of course it was like, hey, old Joe the chain smoker was down there playing Commodore 64, just secondhand blowing that smoke into the side here in the vent hole, and then he lost his voice box. See, after too many unfiltered Lucky Strikes, So, anyway, it was full of cigarette tar. I got to come up with some better name for this CRT cigarette tar, and this thing had to be completely ripped 100% apart to get it all just cleaned. But it was looking good till I screwed up the restoration on it, put the wrong caps in it. But we have electricity going to it now. Let's see if we can. It's got this lovely power button. Now the problem. This is a solution I've been trying to find. Somebody used to on Etsy sell a replacement. It has a flap door here, like the Commodore.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this one's missing that flap door, unfortunately.
So is this the set that you said you put the wrong caps in?
Yes. Yes, exactly. So let's see.
It looks nice.
Oh, you see like
that
button.
Big physical
blue button. And I think something's coming on here.
Love it.
Ooh.
I got the PC engine fire up there.
Ah! There we go. Sorry, Mrs. Retrotech, the curtains, they're in trouble. Here we go.
Steve talks a big game right now, but as soon as he's done, like, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, darling.
Forgive me. Okay.
Oh, we got the flash cart. Okay, so we've got the flash cart there as well.
There we go. Let's get some...
Robcat, Guitar Hero to COT Tar Hero. Nice. I like the pun. Thank you, Robcat.
There we go. Let's see if we could stop that from scrolling too. Probably not. There we go.
Hey, anyone in the chat, let me know. Hey, Belmont's there in the chat. How you doing, mate? Anyone in the chat who's not American, first of all, thank you. Secondly, what were your impressions of the TurboGrafx 16 PC engine? Because in Australia, it really wasn't a thing. It never really made it down there very much. It was always something I read about in the magazines on the amazing things that they had in America. So outside of the US, if you grew up outside, what was your impression of the TurboGrafx? Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never even knew about it myself till later on. I don't remember it really myself. So the people that were messing with this were the rich kids, probably. I was only playing with the,
wrong side of the tracks.
I was lucky I had the Game Boy. There's not a lot of games for this. Let's see here.
Really? There's more games than that, isn't there?
Yeah, there are more games than that, but it's not I don't consider it a huge library.
No, I guess not. I do love the shmups. I love, back in the day, one of the first events that the Shmup Junkie did was he'd have these caravan competitions where you got to get the highest score, and he did a whole week on Superstar Soldier on the TurboGrafx, and ever since then I play that 2-minute mode over and over again. So Shmup Libby, very good. Hey, Mr. Add-ons is here. How you doing? There he is.
Hey, dude.
In the US, he only knew about it.
This is very difficult to play through OBS, watching on the screen. I need a mirror. So, The thing I like about this is just composite. Now, look at my guy. He disappears when I get hurt. So, yeah, this is composite video. Yeah, I guess I'm dying.
I'm dying over here.
I'm dying over here. Look at this. You can experience this death experience. Watch me have this epic battle with this spider. Oh, he's gonna web me. So this lovely CRT, again, it has the full amazing treatment. I put way too much time into it. I'll never get the full value out of it, but it will live on. And it will be for sale at the big CRT sale this month. And we will
Retro World Expo.
Yes, we talked about this before. The CRT Road Show. Golly, this is taking forever. And the CRT Road Show, where I go and I set up the booth. This time it will be at the Retro World Expo. Woo! Now I'm gonna have to start over on this wacko, I think.
Okay. So what? Sorry, what was the screen size of that? Is that a 14?
14, well, 13 inch technically. The model is JVC TM13U. Gosh, I just totally did awesome.
And so if I understand, Steve, your intent of the models that you're going to sell at Retro World are like a little bit smaller ones, easier to carry away. I mean, you're not selling the 27-inch behemoths, right? You're selling
no, because I can't carry. Yeah, I don't want to take those with me. So this is still considered like a commercial monitor. I mean, that's what it says on the back, but it's from the 80s. It has B and C hookups. So in a second, I'll show that back off since we've looked a little bit here at the screen. You can tell it's looking really good. So I could get less distracted for a second. We'll look at some details on it. So yeah, the point is here, I have a lot of CRTs. I need to clear out some space. So I want to try to also have some of these available at these events, again, because I'm there. This one, again, fully restored, recapped. I went through and reflowed solder on all of it, so it's ready to go for a long time. The tube's nice. But let me show you. Let's go around to the back here. But I need... Yeah, basically, I can't keep everything. And I want to just... I don't really like to sell online anymore, but I will sell at these shows. And then I sell... Like, I'll give you more details on how people can get this if they want or get whatever, like we said. But let's look. So, yeah, this... Let's zoom in here.
Okay.
Put some lights on. Okay, so... We get a little number there. April of 1987.
Legit.
And then there's our input, and then you can feed video out. So you could, if somebody just wanted to have a composite monitor for streaming or something too, they could output the video for that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So there's in and out for commercial use only. So the implication, as you were saying, this is some professional environment. Now that switch there, that's about the resistance on the sync, isn't it? 75 is standard and open could be.
So, well, that's just going to be a termination. So when you have video loop through, if you don't you have to terminate it when you're not using it with the 75 ohms. That's why you might see a terminator on a commercial monitor. Well, a lot of them will have it built in where they'll just, like, PVMs do it automatically. These will do it with a switch like that. Like, if you were to put video loop out, you'd want to turn this to open, because then it'll be terminated on the next thing. But yeah, that just gives it a 75 ohm termination, and then the screen will look good. So before I get this thing up to Retro World, I'm gonna attempt to get a quality 3D printed replacement door down here, because everything else on this is here and complete, and it's in great shape now. Works fully, as we said. Well, I said that, and then oh yeah, I was like, it's still on. I never turned it off. I didn't realize it. So what it is it's basically this is. So the funny thing is this is. JVC made this one, right? And it has a Toshiba tube in it. JVC made the shell and the boards. Then this looks just like the Commodore, like 1701 or 1702. It just has a little bit different, like the color's a little bit different on the shell, and then that monitor will actually support S-Video, and then has like an input right here for composite. This one does not have all that, but it does. Like, it's the same parts made by JVC and the Commodores that are in this one. But it's weird because those have like Hitachi tubes in them, so they switched tubes around.
It does seem very common, doesn't it, with CRT makers?
Yeah,
And
they're
maybe
switching
this
everything around.
harks back to the idea that making CRT tubes was and still is hard. There's only limited number of tube makers. You needed a particular set of your investment in your factory, so they were looking around for where they can get stocks from. It wasn't just you could pick one up from anywhere. So
right,
they have to mix and match quite a bit.
Right. So yeah, this is so this one, here's the deal. These will be I'm not going to discuss it here because I haven't even thought about what the price is for them yet. Now I'm going to warn you, they're not going to be like super cheap or anything, but this will probably be the cheapest one because it's what it is. But I'm bringing this one and the other two that we're about to look at after this one again to the Retro World Expo. There's a link to that in the description of this live stream if you want to go see that. Or you could just Google Retro World Expo, and that's what it's going to be. It's Hartford, Connecticut, October 23rd to the 25th. And I will be there in a booth on that Saturday for sure, all day. And I'll have this one there for sale, and you can come get it. Now, if anybody is, I'm going to say this, if anybody is on like Patreon right now and you're coming to the show and you want to like reserve any of these monitors you see, just send me a DM, and that's the way I'll go ahead and reserve it for you, and you can come pick it up at the show. Otherwise, you do not have to be on Patreon to get it or anything when it comes to the show. They'll all be set up there. I will have a little, what are they called? QR code on a printout. You'll be able to pull up a whole service history on each one of the monitors. You can look at it on your phone, and that's how you'll get the info, and you can decide there if you want it or not. But that's
so
the way
important,
it is.
and it's so interesting part that you keep this detailed service record. I know you do pictures, and so as I understand, there'll be a little QR code that'll pull up some sort of Google Doc or something like that, and you can see your logs, you can see the work done, you can see pictures, and it's so important when getting a professional to do something like that.
Yeah, thanks. So, well, I mean, it just adds to like everybody's, your confidence, your feel better. And also, I mean, I've had it come back to help me many times where people might claim something that didn't happen or something that did happen. And I'm like, look, here's everything. You can see all of it right there. So this is the first one. You'll definitely see this one there. I've not really decided what I'm going to hook up to it. I will. It does include a power cable built in, and I will include a BNC to RCA adapter, so you won't need any adapter to get use right out of it. But I think that people are really going to be blown away when they see it. It looks really good for composite video only.
Absolutely. So it's got some small speakers in it as well.
It's got one speaker up top. It's a mono speaker. You could see it right there in that grill area. Yeah. Right here. Mm-hmm. So, yep. And let's see. And hopefully, like I said, if I can, I'm going to find I probably will go with a black door as opposed to try to match this old plastic. I think the black door would actually look nice.
Like a two-tone. Okay.
Yeah, which would match this is black. And this is darker. It's kind of a dull black, but it's just the color's a little bit different. There's not really all the brown and beige that you see in the Commodore version. So yeah, this one will be there. And even if you don't want to buy it, you can come by and see these CRTs. They'll be set up in person. Come check them out. Say hello, and also check out the amazing course on the 24th that I'll be doing.
And
live.
I think Retro RGB Bob is going to be there, but don't let that put you off. I mean, you probably have to talk to him. You'll smell him from about around the corner, but please still come anyway. Okay. Oh, actually, NDP made a good point, Steve. You said the month wrong. Retro World Expo is August 23 and 25. August. No, yes. You said October.
Oh, I said October. Oh, I'm sorry, August. I did say. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's the other conference. Sorry. So let's say it again. August 23 through 25th. Sorry, guys. But there is a link to it in my down there in my
on the description of the video.
description
that's
for
right.
this video if you need it. And
That's how I verified that. I saw NDP wrote that and I clicked myself. So what else we got? We got some other ones we're going to look at today, Steve? And
yeah, we do.
You said there was 3.
Let me, let me get it up. So that's it. That's the JVC right there. Fun, pretty monitor.
Composite is great.
Just wanted to make sure that everything
a
was
nice
good.
composite, a clean composite is looking really good. And as P017 is saying, the one playing Sega Rally up there, really nice composite for what it is.
Right?
Not at all ashamed to it.
I'm not like, that's the thing is I don't really want to get rid of it, but I kind of I need to get rid of it. I need to clear out some space.
You're a businessman, Steve. You can't be hoarding. That's the thing when you work. This is your profession as well. You can't
I
be
know.
hoarding all this stuff.
Because I like it now. I'm like, man, now, well, this is, yeah, you know. All right, let's move on now. Moving on to CRT number 2. I'm going to get this out now. As I start to do that, I'm probably going to change up the consoles here.
All right.
That's what I don't know yet, Jeff. I'm gonna have to price this thing. I mean, the thing is like I said, this has been completely recapped. It's gonna have full documentation. It's gonna be at the show. I gotta really come up with the right price for it because I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably only like $150 CRT ongoing. Right on like a show floor, but I've put more value into it, but I don't want to price it to where it's impossible to sell either because I don't want to take it up there and bring it back. So I don't know my exact number. If you're serious about buying it before then or want to know, I can work something out between now and the 3 weeks for the show. I definitely will have them all priced at the show, and like probably the leading up to the show we'll figure all that out. Exactly. I don't have it right off the top of my head.
And it's a very good point about the price. Like the price of this is because the money has gone, the time, Steve's time has gone into it. Now, if that's not your thing, if you just look, as we always say, the best CRT you can get is any CRT you can get. And if the geometry's a little bit off or something is not quite, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. On this Trinitron here, the geometry is a little bit off, but I only really notice it when I've got the 240p test suite up. And, it was $45, or if you spend, a whole bunch of hours, a few more hundreds to get the geometry right, But if you're that sort of person, if you're the classic car collector who wants to have a classic bit, who wants to know that everything's going to be good and that it's going to last you some time, then in that case, yeah, it's nice that there are these options.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. Somebody that just wants, something they want to be very reliably know it's not good. They don't have to worry about getting inside it. It's going to do what it's supposed to do. You'll have, again, this whole documented fun to look at with it, kind of show off. It's, yeah, but at the same time, you don't have to worry about shipping when you're at the show. You're getting it right from the person right there. You have all the documentation. So, I don't want to run anybody off, but it probably is going to be, I mean, I don't know, 400, maybe 5 at the very max. If I'm just thinking off the top of my head, and I don't know what the reaction is to that, but either way, I probably have 7 or 8 hours into something like this of labor and love into it, but I understand too. So there it is. But
that's fine. It's all good. I look at it. It's hard, Steve. It's very hard to talk about your own services.
It's to talk
about your own pricing, and that's exactly the reason why in my stand-up comedy production company, if I'm gonna go out and I need to make a performance, someone says, "Hey, can he come and host an event or tell some jokes or something like that?" I have a sales manager, and she handles the deal part of it. And then later on, I'll take over and I handle, let's say, the creative side. And I do it because it's really hard to say, I am worth this much. My performance is this much. It's so much easier to say, my client is worth this much. And I just can't, I'm very hard. So I know my sales manager gets more than I would, because I'll be like, I don't know, it's less. So it's very hard to talk about your own things.
Yeah, it's like, it's different, like, than, I know that, again, like, people can go out and obviously find things for free and whatnot, and some people will be like, oh, that sounds like a great deal, and others are going to be like, oh, that's crazy. I mean, it doesn't really bother me because I've been doing it for so long that there's, like you said, there's always somebody out there who is just, it's just like if you wanted to go get an old vehicle, like you said, or anything. I mean, it's like, you could go buy something that plays Nintendo games, and you could buy something that's really cheap, or you could buy something that's original hardware and then have it professionally serviced and modified and put a new shell on it. And at the end of the day, you spent $800 or something on one console. Yet a lot of people don't go, oh, well, you're crazy. You know, it's like, I feel like that's funny. There's not like the same hatred, or like CRTs is one of those things. It's easy, I think, for people to say, oh, well, you get free ones, or which you can. And it's like you said, it's
you
a
don't
market
know.
for
Like,
it.
even so, the Trinitron here, when I bought it for the big grand total of $45, had not seen it turned on. Seller said that it works, but that's the only line. I saw the service sticker was untouched, so it hadn't been opened, but $45 sight unseen. And that was a bit of a roll of the dice. I mean, that could very easily have not gone well either. And I think also, I think right now, look, in this community, people here, everyone in the chat, they get it. If you're watching this stream, I think you're the sort of person who gets it. So I think here, maybe you and I, Steve, make it a bit too much. About such things.
I don't. I mean, and again, it's like you don't have to really buy it, right? I mean, it's like.
Sure, you don't have to buy the classic restored car either. You know, you can buy.
And it's like the PVM, or like the next ones, I'm not really sure at either. So, but it's just because, again, smaller ones too are much easier to like move around places. And they're not like they were so easy to get. Now it's anything that's cool is like you get a lot of CRTs too, but they're not like really cool. Really, like you're not gonna generally find. If you find this one, it'll be like when I found it, covered in cigarette tar and slop. All right. Let's move on.
What do we got? What's up next?
Hang on.
Yep.
It's next door. Just number 2.
Okay, I'll talk to the chat. So, going on this of should you pick up any CRT, I got an offer today. I got contacted with a guy. He's got a Trinitron PC monitor, but it's like the really early one, the 100 SPF or something like that. 13.9 inches. It's not even a 15-inch. And I think he's going to let me have it for not much money at all. And I'm just sort of like, do I get it? Do I bother to go and get it? Am I sounding a little bit spoiled brat? Like, oh, I don't want that Trinitron. Would I actually use it? What do you guys think? Like, do we have to pick up them all? It's a Sony Trinitron. But I'm not sure I'd ever really use a 13.9-inch VGA Trinitron. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. There are not many VGA monitors in my area. I can still get 15 kilohertz TV sets. The 14, this one's a bit rare, but there's a couple of 20s out there. A 27, couple 27s always pop up occasionally. There's even a widescreen Philips that comes along, but I really don't see many PC VGA monitors pop up. I'm not sure whether I should just gather it out of some hoarding instinct or just let it go because it's like a real small one that I probably wouldn't use. So that's interesting to the chat for you guys as well. How do you see in your area the comparison between consumer sets and VGA PC sets, like availability? If you see some consumers, are they easy to get PC? What are you seeing in your local area? Mr. Add-ons is saying the idea of a working CRT should be free is strange. Certainly has a high value. Yeah, and that work that's been put into it. I guess it's that mindset. If you've been used to getting them for free, then you even though time is moving on, like everything costs more money right now. The hamburger costs so much, as Steve was saying at the start. So that's why I decided to spend 45 on that 14-inch. Like, just move on with the times, accept it, get over it. The classic days are not coming back. Ronnie's saying lots of VGA monitors in Michigan. Okay, that's nice. So the KV27 for $80, dusted, inspected. It's nice, 27-inch as well. I think it's finding the right person for it. Yeah. If I really needed
all right.
27, I'd pay that 80 for it.
Ooh.
All right, Steve's got the Genesis now.
Finally
Here
back.
we got this one. All right.
All right. So, first off, check out another chance to show off the very cool
Oh, yeah.
Blue Shell 3D stand. It's just awesome.
Those things are cool.
For
Very,
the
very
8-inch.
nice.
Stand's not included, okay? So what we have here, whoops, sliding all over the place. Here we go. Show you the front here to start with. We have, let's get as close as you can. Gonna reel it up a little. Oh, reaching the end of the world here. Let me get a little closer. We can take a look at this. This is the Sony BVM 8044QD.
The BVM.
BVM. And
Okay.
it's a little bit of an oddball because if you notice over here, it's got a hole where it says volume. But since it's a BVM, there is no volume, there's no sound in it. So it's just, that's the way Sony did it. They actually just removed the button
What?
and left it blank. And they put a, like there's no hardware in there because there's no speaker. And I'm not even joking. That's the way they made it from the factory.
Can you show us on the back, where
Yeah.
the model number on the back?
So if you look back here, let me show you.
Oops, go down. Yeah.
There we go. Now let me. Hang
Well,
on.
you're right. It says BVM.
Let's see.
Huh.
See, there's where instead it has component SDI.
Move over a bit. We can't see.
Yeah, I was just showing it the kit there. Oh, I gotta turn that light off. Alright, let's do this. There. Come on, baby, give me some focus right there.
BVM. You're right. It does say BVM. Because the 8-inch BVMs that I have all say on the front, they say HD something there. So that's why I was a little bit confused at first.
Yeah, so this one, let's see, let me show you. This only has 3 lines on it, right? So you've got...
Yep.
Composite or S-video line A, composite line B, output. And then just down here, you could do RGB sync or RGB or whatever. Component, YP, but anyway, you could do that. It's got the different power sources, and then instead of the speaker and the batteries, that normally would have a battery bank and speakers under there, it's got a different bottom so that it will do component SDI with that additional component input. Now, I don't have anything to even use that for. I'm sure most people don't at this point. Now, the good thing about this monitor...
I think I've only heard of very few circumstances where people are trying to route retro gaming signals over SDI. I think, as much as I've understood, SDI doesn't even do... You can't send 240p down it, so 480i, and it's not really that useful because it was really how you send... before long HDMI became a thing, and it still is a thing. Like, it's how you do long runs in a professional video environment, and pardon me, it is still used as a standard. But that's a great set of inputs. Composite, S-video, RGB, component, It's got it all right there.
So this one, yeah, this one's got everything. It also does like every type of video signal you could think of for the most part. As far as like regions, power, it could take 50 hertz, 100 or 60 hertz. And let's see, it does do underscan, does 16:9 on the back. On the front, you do have controls. It's just like any other little 8-inch in this size.
So and as I remember, this model doesn't have any on-screen display. It's all the push button.
It's all push button stuff. And this one again has had all the cap kits done, completely recapped on the deflection board, power supply recapped, and then also, if you remember, this is the model that is affected by that losing color on composite and S-video. It's had that whole kit done to it that we've done before, talked about before, that you've done on a live stream.
We've worked on that together. So yeah, this model, any of that size, the 8-inch, the 9 inches that I have, very susceptible. If you see black and white on composite or S-video, it's a known thing, and Steve's done that work. So it's super, super common that if you buy one of these unserviced, there's probably going to be black and white on S-video or composite.
Yeah, or it eventually just goes out. Yeah, if you use it, if it works. So that's all been done, cleaned, ready to go, and this one is. Let's plug it in and take a look at it.
It's real nice. So it's nice because you can have like a few different things plugged in at once. Nice because you can use RGB or component going straight in the back there. The only small thing I would say about this monitor is that when I don't often use these ones for testing, because if I'm not sure what the signal is coming out, like it's kind of difficult without an on-screen display. I'm kind of pressing those buttons sometimes, trying to work, is it internal sync, external sync, and pressing the buttons. But once I know, okay, that's like, it's not super intuitive at first, switching between input. But once you work it out, it's fine.
Yeah, it's if you don't ever use them, a lot of times people don't know how to hook anything up to them and test it.
Yeah, I think I bought one of those and the guy just didn't. I rolled in with a mister and the guy looked at me like, what the hell is this thing? And I think the guy just didn't know the buttons to press.
Yeah, so I'm going to connect RGB to it. Red, green, blue, and then sync. And this one does have the higher resolution too. No burn.
They look nice because at such a size, you don't need the highest TV lines. Now, this has got a high TV line to begin with, but at that size, everything looks so crisp and nice and clear.
Let's see here. And let's play the game where you got to just, even I'll have to guess. Make sure everything's plugged in.
So yeah, those ones are nice. I've still got a few of these. They're easy to stack. Easy to put your environment, a good monitor. I guess if you're spending all this money, you wouldn't buy it as your test monitor, but it's a good second monitor to have. It's a good.
Well, some people may if that's what they're looking for, but
easy to sit on the desk at that size. Like you can just kind of have it off to the side.
There we go. We got power LED there.
Nice.
If I made a scene where it's just that, well, it just gets rid of this. Let me go and expand this and
That's all right.
We'll get us out of the way so we can show just the CRT for a second and a crooked view for everybody.
Right. So if anyone's wondering also on the front, so on the left-hand side, they're push buttons, and that'll switch you between your RGB component, your S-video. That's how you're determining the which input you're using.
Right. So and then you got to make sure you're right sync, because then that's what I did. I had it on sync, and then you just flip between these till you find out the right one.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm doing. It's not so intuitive at first.
And then get some settings. Now this one's good for a couple of other reasons too. It gets it's gonna have this HV delay, which if you're doing something with what's it called? Video like recording and playback of old items. That's how you check and see if there's copyright protection, like Macrovision. Yeah, you have to have a monitor that does that.
Right, because now my interpretation of what you just said, Steve, was the HV delay. It's like showing you the real overscan edges, which is something you might want to do if you were doing video editing or like
right. Let me turn
broadcast signals and stuff like that. The reason that I was saying that, because this we could talk about in a moment. I was having that issue this week with the VHSs, and my VHSs are rolling at the top, which is a thing that happens when the tape gets old, this rolling off in the top portion of the screen. And some sets can deal with it, some can't. I think it's like not picking up the sync properly, and some sets can compensate for not reading the sync properly. Weirdly, my BVM can't. It doesn't seem to have a video mode on it, but the small little Trinitron does deal with that correctly. So that HV mode is something that would allow you to look more closely right at the very first scan lines if you're using broadcast video.
Yep, and that's exactly what it was for. And so that's something that you won't actually find on like the medical variants for the most part, because they didn't use that. So let's just pull up the only game I know how to play.
On the Genesis. Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. It's such a cool little... Let's see there. It's pretty good. Not perfect, but we'll do it for...
The video.
We'll do it for a live stream, but yeah.
Here.
So this is... There we go. Turn that monoscope pattern down. You can see too on this one, you'll get this. This is one where you're going to get a left to right shift on these older RGB monitors, where this has been calibrated more for Super Nintendo. So that's why you'll have a little bit over here on that. Very sharp though.
It's looking nice.
Let's go back here. My lovely hand there. There we go. I wanted to try to do that. Maybe we will. Oh! So this one will be there. And the good thing is this one fits nice in the booth. And, too. It has a stand. I'll have it set up there. It's going to have everybody loves to come see a PVM in real life too.
The carry handle makes it very easy as well.
They're super clean. Like I said, I've gone through and cleaned the whole thing up.
Yeah, it looks nice. And if you're also wondering, if you've not really worked with professional monitors before, at the top of the screen in the middle, that's called a tally light. And that is a light that's used in a professional video environment. This would be where there's like a wall of screens, and there'd be many, many screens. And this light is telling you which is the current one, if this one's in use. And that light is just on and off. And when Steve had it turned around the other side, there was another plug that looked like S-Video, but it's not S-Video. And it's called remote. And that would be hooked into a system that would be running all of these monitors. And so central coordinating device would be sending the tally light on signal to the particular monitor that it's sending signal to. And if you have one of these monitors, I think it's basically just a matter of bridging two of the pins on the remote. Like, you don't need the remote. I just got like a DuPont wire and stuck it in to two of the slots, and that just turns on the tally light. Doesn't do anything more than just turn on the light, because I thought it was cool.
Exactly. Yeah. It just turns on the light just to turn on a little light. That's it. Yeah.
Just for the funsies.
This one, I mean, this is such a fun little monitor. You're gonna get all the benefits. You get to see everything. Like, and again, you could even use. The cool thing about these is they take any signal. That's why people really like them, or used to like them for bench monitors because you could, if you're working on consoles, you get some weird PAL or weird variant of a console that you can't get to really sync with maybe a normal screen. This pretty much, if it's analog video and it's putting out a, it'll take it just about, you know.
Exactly what you said, Steve. I keep 2 of these in my little room next to this for exactly that reason. It's got all the inputs if I need to test something. Right. I don't have anything else that accepts S-video. I have some converters that I could convert the S-video to composite, but I don't have anything else that takes S-video natively. So, yeah, very versatile monitor to have around.
So, yeah, and I like, it's fun to work on these. You and I have done quite a few, like we said, streams in the over the years and things talking about these because I don't know. When I remember being new to CRTs a decade ago. It seems like doesn't seem like it's been a decade, but it's been a decade. And I would go to the recyclers and they would have pallets of like 25 of this monitor. And I was like, man, I just don't see anything I'll be able to do with that. I don't really want them. And then every time after that, I wanted to throw up because I was like, what did I do? What a stupid mistake. And so, yeah, now I'm like, I love these things. Like back then, though, it was all I was like, nobody even wants a 20-inch one probably. And you're going to think it's not 50-inch TV, man.
Hey, Edward's here. P017 was saying how S-video. I have some thoughts on S-video. Things that make Lewis angry. And it often revolves around reading Reddit. And so Reddit makes me angry. I don't know why I go on there so much. But one thing that makes me angry on Reddit CRT discussions is people ask, what's a good S-video cable? And for some reason, whenever somebody asks, like for Super Nintendo or whatever, they say, hey, what's a good S-video cable? Someone always links to some eBay seller in Canada that sells a good quality S-video Nintendo cable. And this person seems to have a lot of sales on their eBay channel. And these people get on there and go, oh, this is a great cable. This is a good S-video cable. And then you look at the picture of it, and it's clearly a Chinese cable. It's clearly it's nothing special. It's not handmade.
Oh.
It's clearly just one made in China. Not really shielded. You can see the wire is thin. But all these, it just confused me so much. All like people jumping, oh, it's a good cable. Oh, it's good. Oh, anything more you can't tell, blah, blah, blah.
It's a joke, man.
It took me a while to work it out or to come up with a theory about it. So here's my theory about these cables, about why people are jerking off to them so much. Because we know that there's a real problem that there are some cheap S-video cables. And the problem with them is that they're sending composite over S-video, like they're not a proper S-video cable. And you can tell if you have an S-video cable and it's also got a composite yellow on it and it's Chinese, that's a really good sign that it's actually super, super junky, super, super bad S-video cable.
Well, you can, that's absolutely true. I actually was going to say I bought one of those years and years ago and was thoroughly disappointed because I, again, read all these people saying it was the best one there was, like you said.
So my theory is that people may have had the original junky composite over S-video cable that's horrible. And then they've upgraded to this eBay one, which is really, it's straight up YC, straight up S-video, but it's unshielded and cheap. But I think that leap is a pretty big leap. Like if you even go junky Chinese S-video cable, that's a big leap. And people are seeing that and going, oh my God, oh, this is the best you can get. Now there's another leap, which is Chinese S-video cable to proper handmade, well-built. I think that leap isn't quite as big. Now there's a leap and it still can be better, but I think that people are comparing it to the junky composite version, and that's why they're saying that any Chinese S-video cable is good. I also think a factor to play here, I have this suspicion like S-video is a very resilient format of analog video. And my conjecture about this is when I was testing the Mike Simone adapters for Mister, and now we have S-video natively out of the Mister, and I was working with Mike Simone directly. I was working with Ivory Retrocastle. I was also testing Antonio Vilena's adapters. And when I was testing all the early stage ones of these, S-video works straight away. Like whatever cheap, badly made adapter that I plugged into my Mister, I got great S-video. And Mike Simone said this himself. S-video was quote unquote easy or quick. What was hard was composite. Composite was hard. You got to mix the two signals and the dot crawl and and that was what took the long tail.
Yeah.
So what I take away from that is like S-video often doesn't get interference. So you might have an unshielded cable and you claim it's the best just because it's not getting interference. Not that the cable is great. It's just that S-video seems to work pretty well. So yeah, my theory is that unshielded S-video cable often works well. Now, that doesn't mean that it couldn't still have interference, doesn't mean that maybe we might still have a shielded one. So,
well, yeah. The other thing is S-video is very American. It's like everybody knew that. Nobody really knew about component later, yeah. But S-video, oh yeah, man, American made S-video, baby.
Yeah, okay. And they don't, like if you've just got, like you might have a good consumer regular S-video set that you've got. Like I admit that maybe you can't see so much of a difference from the Chinese S-video cable to the handmade Insurrection Industries cable.
Yeah, that's not. So here I've got a little. We're gonna stop playing this, but just hit reset and let it run for a second. We'll switch over to another screen. I let left S-video plugged into a monitor I was working on, and I came running through my shop, and it was a Insurrection Industries S-video cable, and I tripped over the cable, wrapped around my leg, and I tripped over it so hard that it ripped out of the CRT that it was plugged into, and I looked down, and I could just see the 4 prongs coming out of a super strong adhesive inside the black barrel of rubber that's around the shielded part, you know. And I look in the CRT and it's still got the whole piece of metal just ripped right out. And I'm like, doggone it. And so I get my pliers, I pull the metal out, and then I'm looking at it, and I mean, I was able to slide it back into the rubber right around it, get it pushed in there, and I just put it here and like smushed it down hard enough. And then I just stuck it back in there, and it's working perfectly. Like, it didn't get it a single problem. Since everything on the S-video doesn't really matter about that outside, and it's so well built, just breaking that didn't harm. So I'm still able to use the cables. Vice versa, those cheap ones, they are so flimsy on the grade of your gauge of the wiring that I use it a couple times. You don't even have to do, like, if I would have done that, the whole head would split and the cable would rip out of it. So there's the level of quality with like those S-video cables are night and day from anything else. And I have to say the same thing kind of about the ones we've talked about, the Retro Frog composite cables, which were the ones I was using on the JVC. Those were the composite cables from that. So those are awesome. But yeah, this is it.
It's a very similar philosophy to what we were talking about with your service TVs. Like, if you can get a $10 CRT and it's good for you, mate, right on. That is an awesome part of our hobby. If you got a $10 S-video cable and you're good with it and it's going nice, right on. I don't mean to take away from that. All I'm trying to say is there is a premium option. It does make a difference. If we've got a better set, it can make a difference depending on our shielding, can make a difference. Physical build quality can also make a difference, as you're saying, as Mr. Add-ons are saying. So just because the Chinese cable works fine doesn't mean that premium options don't necessarily offer something else. I think that's really the point I want to get across. Yeah, and another thing to note, like all these, I'm very meticulous on anything I would put up. There's not like a single real blemish on the CRT tube, no single burn signs in of it or anything like that. Like, these are all top quality on kind of, it's like what's available in the stock that's even out there. So that's it. Like, it's one last look. You can see that you've got some controls there, all manually adjustable there on the front. One last look at it. Come by and check it out at the Retro World Expo. And the funny thing is this one just says Trinitron on the bezel. It doesn't say like HR Trinitron for some reason. Yeah, that's
even
what I
though
was
it's
gonna say.
HR, it is the HR tube though, because, and that's the other thing. I verify all this stuff. I have this opened and I'll have pictures where you can see its actual tube number. That's, I believe it's the M. It starts with the letter M. The tube that's the higher res as opposed to like an A. That's the lower res tube, because both will work in the same monitor if you have it. It's just you want to make sure that you verify. So that's another thing. It's like verified to have the right tube in it. And that's it. What's up,
So a few
Ariel?
things there. Going back to the chat here, Mr. Add-ons, he did point out something. I use the terminology. It's right to be precise. No, not handmade doesn't necessarily mean better. As Mr. Add-ons points out, if we're getting quality cables professionally made under great circumstances, that would be the best one. So pardon me. I think I more meant like seller who cares, hand making the process, not just pumping out of the factory. Pardon me. That was the terminology that I meant, that a seller. And PS17, I just can't agree with you, my friend. I think there's something to shielded cables. I actually don't see right now on the market overpriced shielded cables. Back in the day when monster cables, was selling some
my gosh,
things like, sure, but we're not talking monster cable situation. We're seeing again, quote unquote, handmade sellers. Sorry. Artisan sellers who are getting the quality made up from quality shielding, the stuff that Mr. Add-ons has got. Retro Gaming Cables, Insurrection Industries, Retro Frog. I think they have a place at that end of the market if you're getting a lot of that. Again, if an unshielded cable works for you, right on. I'm very pleased for that. Stick to that solution. But I think there is still a lot of room for quality in the market. Hey, and Ariel Ace.
We got some questions. That's awesome, Ariel. That's going to be great to see there at the Retro World Expo. It's going to be awesome. Good. So, come by, hang out. I got a couple questions in the chat. I don't know about adding, off the top of my head, maybe I did do that mod 13M50 adding S-Video. If there is a guide out there, I would just definitely research the guide. I'm going to try to come out with some videos in the next couple months about, which we could talk about this. Let's take a break before we get into the very last CRT. Sure. We'll talk about we'll do some chat, and then we'll talk to like what's been going on and like what to expect. I want to do a video that like where it does explain some of these different things, like if for like a tips video on if you're going to do something like service it or mod it, but to give you kind of a heads up on it or a early answer now. Just do your research. Don't just dive into it. The best thing you can do is just keep looking at it, go over the plan, look at it in comparison to like the schematics in the service manual, and make sure you understand kind of what you're exactly supposed to be doing. And and you map that spot out on the board, and then you do all that before you go in and you actually start doing the modification work. And just prepare yourself, make sure you have good tools, and it's just a process after that point. Let's see, what else was there? Edward was asking about, again, your 14-inch, I believe, on S-Video, and that it didn't work, right?
Right. So Edward did some investigation, which is something I didn't know about, that some Sony sets accept S-Video over SCART. So remember, SCART is just a plug, usually associated with RGB, but a lot of times you can send composite. It just sends composite over the sync pin instead. But also it is possible, if the set accepts it, you can send YC, you can send S-Video over that. And he found out that if your Sony set on SCART, if it's got a little S, like on the input thing, that sort of is an implication that it accepts S-Video over the SCART plug. And he tested this monitor, and so I didn't know about that.
I never heard that either. That's cool.
And because you can send, there are people out there, a few people that are in their custom setup are sending component over SCART because they've got some sort of SCART switch already, and it's just routing signals. So they've actually, that's a bit of a weird, a very, very niche thing, but SCART is just a plug.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a great plug that has a ton of isolated pins on it, right? And then you can ground loop everything, right? That's the thing that made SCART so great, is it had so many, for an analog plug, it had so many plugs. It's the most. So you could, argue that's why everybody loves SCART, and was sad we never got it, but it's okay.
We got the Euro thing. Gravitone saying that often when it can accept SCART, S-Video over SCART, it's usually on the second or third SCART input. So here, like this 14's just got one SCART. But once you get up to, I want to say the 20s have like 2 SCART inputs. And once you get up to those 27s, it's got like 3 plus S-Video plus composite. So it's more likely to have S-Video over the extra SCARTs that are coming for whatever reason.
Yeah, all right. There's also, I was going to say, I had one more question before it gets rolled out.
Yeah, I was going to go back to that. It's a good one.
I don't know if you saw it, and maybe it's not the one you're looking at. But it was, speak to the difference between, is that what you're looking at? Speak to the difference between RGB on a PVM and component video. And this is really good timing, 196, because I've been working for like 2 days straight putting together this video that is long. It's 52 minutes, the one that's coming out next. And it's 4 different CRT repairs, restorations, and modifications. It's got it all. Research, everything. But the first thing in it is the RGB mod on a consumer CRT that has component video. And so this was something I had not done really prior to this. And I was really blown away with the results, and I'll be glad to talk a little bit more about it. And
please, because I'm confused, because now my understanding of it is RGB and components are basically the same. They carry the same amount of signal information. They just encode it differently. So I would have thought that if you had, I was wondering why the hell modding, if it's got component in, just do a RGB to component, and why even do that mod?
You would think that's always my understanding of what I thought. And boy, I was actually, in reality, quite wrong, and I'm glad I show this quite in detail on the video, and it's visible, the differences here, like quite visible on even my recordings. So what happened is, on component video, on a lot of these old televisions, you would actually get some kind of picture processing going on that component video. And so the one I did was a Toshiba flat screen, and I would have these wild red banding on for example, letters and stuff. I would have banding on that. I would have different bleeding effects going on a little bit. And I just thought, okay, that's just part of the TV. Like, it's a composite video TV, right? Or it's a consumer grade TV. Well, I added the RGB kit, and the kit that I bought was already put together through the Sector Sunthar kit or site. And so I put that kit together and installed it, and it got around all that picture processing. And then I looked at the same exact lettering on the same test screen, and the banding was completely gone. The image was sharp. It was like the color was better. Everything was lined up, and I was blown away. And I mean, this was the top edge. The screen I pulled up was the color. Let me see if I can pull it up here, but it's a color test pattern. And, well, actually, I don't hotel that. So I'll pull it up on the next PVM because it's in the 240p test suite. But up against the top edge of the CRT, it's cleared it up. And I was like, what the heck? And then, like, I would go through and, the scroll pattern I love to show on videos and everything is overplayed, is the Super Metroid, shots and screenshots of the original playthrough, because it shows things really well. It can be photographed well. And the first thing I noticed is, it says what does it say, 96, right? Across the screen in red. Mm-hmm. Well, when I did it in Component, I saw this big bands around the red glowing, and then I do it in the RGB and there's nothing. It just looks sharp. So on this particular set that I did it with, it looked awesome. And my plan is to hopefully be able to get one of those ready again, because I've got 3 or 4 of that same TV here in my shop that I've done some trading for. Like, I've let people trade into me, give to me for servicing, like credit. And
I would. Sorry, go ahead.
And I said that, so I will hopefully have another one of those to show off, but that will be all the first chapter, like quarter of the new video that is going to be coming out at the end of this week. Like, after our live show, I'm going to drop a link and a premiere link for it to go premiere, so everybody will get an opportunity to see it.
Now, what we were just talking about here, the RGB versus component. Now, first of all, that makes sense. Why is there a massive difference? Because the TV's doing some processing on the component. It's not that there's an inherent problem with the component. So there's a good reason now. And now that's set by set, because I'm trying to just really be clear about the lesson that we're taking from this, and also be clear to everyone, because there's some excellent comments being made in the chat. Hardcore's talking about RGB is a higher quality than component because RGB uses a full luma and chroma signal. Now, my friend, that could, I'm not entirely sure, but that could technically be a correct statement. However, in practicality, when we're viewing things even on a finely tuned BVM, there isn't a difference between the two. If we've got, like, you took your 15, the 8-inch you just showed us.
Yeah,
you've got the component. All
you
that.
Won't really be able to tell. This is not going to happen on. This doesn't normally happen on this set.
Right. So if the set is, so it's not. I just don't want people to leave here thinking that we're saying that component is worse somehow. Component processing is often not very good. Is there maybe some technical advantage to RGB? I'm not sure. But in practicality, even on a finely high-tuned big BVM, I believe there isn't a difference between them.
It's very hard to see anything. The other thing is, like, again, with those TVs, yeah, we're talking about a television that is putting a component video out there, input out there, and they're trying to, like, make this, they're trying to put as much lipstick on it sometimes as they can, right? So it's just like in the modern TVs where everybody's like, oh, get this screen, turn off this mode, that mode, this mode, that mode, get it down to this mode, all that off and it looks better for gaming. It's the same thing. Like it's just there's not a way to turn it off in a CRT. You're just basically saying, all right, we're skipping that whole software side and we're going straight to the RGB signal and putting in the color, and all that's just tuned based on the resistor values and the MUX kit, and you don't have to worry about it. And so you will see it differently on different sets. That's what makes it so great. It had such a good thing to research, is we're going to see different quality on a different set-by-set basis.
It is true. Look, the next thing you know, there's going to be some Discord. Zez and Steve were saying that components worse.
Components.
No.
Wait. Right.
Certainly not a lot of nuance in there as well. Going back to a previous point that that Mr. Addons was saying.
Components worse.
I definitely have a nostalgia for the SCART plug, given that I grew up with that when I was growing up. So is it the most ideal plug? No, certainly not. Is it the best? No, I'm not getting... I have a nostalgia.
Oh, yeah, so there's one more.
Oh, yeah.
One more CRT. Let me see what I'm going to do here. Check the time. Well, good. 1 o'clock in the United States of the East Coast.
Freedom time, baby.
Don't need much more. This one, now see, this is another example of completely unnecessary monitors. But hang on, let me clear the space.
You do that. Cupcake on the chat, 196 Cupcake. Sorry, what was your conundrum, your issue again? You have a consumer set, a 32-inch consumer, and you could get a PVM. Lay it out for us again. Let's let the democracy decide what is your best choice here. Oh my God, Dante, the switcher came with the 2600 RF. Which channel that it goes on? I remember that.
All right, so yes. 3 amazing professional commercial grade CRTs. Technically, I know we only got composite on the first one, but still technically. So let's get to the third one. And the funny thing is, I'm using it right now to hold up my camera.
What do we got?
I'm not even joking. It's right here. So I'm gonna have to pick up my camera. Pick up.
Oh, we got another one.
Pick up the third final PVM. That's going to be, set us up back here. It's going to be for sale at the show. Mm-hmm. And this one has had a video done on it in the past. So that's fun. It's a little bit of a celebrity, as you could say. So let's go over here and have some fun. All right, this is everybody's Instagram baby from 2022, right? Everybody on Instagram had to have one of these. This is the Sony PVM 5041Q tiny, teeny, weeny
So
RGB
this is smaller
PVM.
than the previous one, right?
Oh, this is the very small one. I'll show you the screen in a second after we look at the back. The back's kind of similar. You've got no S-Video support there, so they're screw S-Video, man. We don't have enough room for it. This is a little bit simpler on the buttons. They do get rid of 2 of them because of the space. So you got composite in and out, RGB or component in. 3 different power sources right there available. So look at that. And then, yeah, there's the born on date is on the bottom of this one. Let's see. 97, that says. Yep, March of 97. So, yeah, this one is the one that everybody wanted to have cool pictures of on social media. This one's in super nice condition, super sharp, clean. Look at it. I mean, you won't find very many good, better examples than this one of that. I've even got a very, almost blemishless, for the most part, screen covering because it's got a plastic plexiglass over it.
It's so interesting, isn't it? That plastic. What's with that? Why did they?
It's like for an additional anti-glare in the field
okay.
setting.
You've got that thing.
Right, and this.
Oh, I didn't even.
And this model has this kickstand. For some reason, they got rid of it on the 8 inches for the most part. But this has a little kickstand.
I have 2 of those, and I don't think it. I gotta go check. I didn't think it had the kickstand. I want a kickstand.
Yep. There it is. The kickstand. That's very cool. So it gives you a little bit better angle when viewing. We'll hook it up here in a second. But like if that is removable, but it's actually tinted, so it's slightly darker. This only has a 200. There's only one tube for this one, 250 line. But again, perfect tube, perfect overlay. The bezel's nice. I've done all the same. This one's gonna fall victim to the same thing we talked about on the last one, where you have to go in. Yep. So all that servicing's been done. All the cap kit has been done, and good to go. Yeah. Let's get it hooked up.
I have 3 of those, and I just sold one. One has a bad PSU, and one works, I think. And I sold one good one as well to my buddy in Stockholm. So I got this buddy. He lives in Stockholm, Sweden, and he has a shite ton of professional monitors, and he rents them out to businesses because they're all super hip and Swedish, right? So they've got it's very hip to have like a PVM sitting in your cafe or your cool fashion store or art galleries, as we've talked about, or some other event or installation or something like that. He's got a lot of monitors, and yeah, he rents them out. That's his business, and he bought one of those 5s off me for his company.
Okay, that's cool. Did you see that company I posted on that was selling like crazy video walls for 10 grand, and they were in all they were in like all of the trendy pop stars videos and stuff. Whoops, that's not zoom in on this guy. Get a little grainy action. Let's see, we got it plugged in. Let's plug it in. Well, let's see. There we go. The sync button is on the back on this one. There we go. Okay. Let's try. I have to cut my light off again to give it a little bit of a look. See there. And yeah, that's extremely like ridiculous. 5-inch variant. The totally portable PVM. Actually, this might be a time where I'm looking at a bigger screen than it actually is.
It is. Those 5s are like, they're fun. It's
just totally a collector.
Yeah.
That's gonna want something like this.
Right. Are you a collector? Do you want this item? And is it a nice extra thing to have? Yeah, you can totally read this. P017. You can totally read it. It's very sharp. Very sharp.
Yeah, so it's like, it's not that's super sharp for such a tiny screen and stuff, but it's not something that it doesn't even have every input, you know? So there we go. Yeah, now it's way bigger.
We can see it really clear.
But it looks awesome.
Looks real nice.
I mean, it's not even like blooming out too much or anything.
Hey, we were speaking about. Actually, if we've got Mr. Add-ons here. I have a question for you, sir, Mr. Add-ons, as a seller of fine products. First of all, do you use Amazon? Because, again, Lewis gets angry at people on Reddit. Story number 2. Here's another post on Reddit, and someone said, I have the HD Retrovision Wii component cables. They work well, and they're good, right? They're happy with the product. And then they said, oh, but now some other company has made another set of Wii component cables that are cheaper. Should I return these cables and get the cheaper one?
That's such a dick move.
That's exactly what I said. Exactly what I fucking said. That's a dick move. And then someone starts getting on their high horse. Oh, you're calling them a dick. Why they're a dick? And I'm like, because it's a small maker, right? Like, we're in a small community. These are real people with real families. Amazon. But why do you have returns then? Because Amazon makes you. Because if you don't sell on Amazon, then you miss out on a massive audience. And Amazon makes you do this bullshit returns policy like this. And so you've got to put up with it. Oh, but this is the capitalism. You've got to accept this if you're going to sell into the market. I'm like, you're biting the hand that feeds you. We're a small community. We need to support these people. And my whole point was the cable worked. The guy admitted it was a great cable that worked as advertised. It was not something about the product or something like that. And I just feel like you're abusing the returns policy. And this is not a corporation. This is real people with families who are trying to get by, and I can't get behind it. Mr. Add-ons, you're being diplomatic, which I can appreciate. Can't blame consumers for wanting the best value. Okay, all right, we'll talk. You're being nice. You're being very kind about it. Steve and I are here to call out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't think that it kind of stinks when you think people about, getting something, getting what they want, and then being like, oh. But I don't know. Some people, are very much on those high horses. I don't know. I've been kicked off every forum on Reddit for being a self-promoting whore.
Right. So someone else made the comment like, isn't it about price? I was being elitist, what about price? And I'm not being sensitive to price. If that's the case, then don't buy them. Coming back, buy the $10 S-video cable. If you got a problem, right on. No disrespect. That's awesome. If money is a problem for you, don't buy HD Retrovision component cable. They're a top quality product at a top quality price.
Yeah, I haven't bought. Just to speak to their quality, I've had mine for, goodness gracious, I bet 8 years. They're fine. Not like, the majority of other cables like we were talking about. How many goodness gracious. I don't even know how many bad composite cables I've broken over the years just trying to test stuff. Oops, I don't think I was supposed to do that.
Mr. Radon says Amazon's a blessing and a curse for consumers. It's true also for that. Are those sellers getting more people through Amazon? Sure. It would be very interesting to know, what, as a, again, artisan seller, as a, not handmade, but not commercial, not a big company commercial seller on Amazon like Mr. Radon's, like Hey True Retrovision, like Retro Frog. How much do you have to sell to make Amazon worth it? Because you got to put up with all the BS of returns or the fraud, and we've seen all the pictures from HD Retrovision about someone does a return, but it's just some random cable, and because as Amazon is so pro-consumer, you've got to just wear that. You've got to factor in the time and the cost on returns for Amazon.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I wouldn't sell on Amazon, but I don't sell lots of products either.
God, I sound like a European socialist, don't I? Down with the system! Man. I want my SCART port and my socialism and my free healthcare. Okay.
I think my ROM carts needs a new firmware or something.
Oh, it's not doing well?
Oh, a couple of the games are just sometimes won't start. Either that or I have to redo it or something. That's happened a few times. Anyway, that's number 3.
Looks great. So that's number 3. That's going to be available at Retro World Expo.
Right.
Something very portable, something you can just pick up and go with. Very nice item to have on the shelf.
Absolutely. So there you go. You can start your own social media account. Become an influencer. That's what we'll do. We'll call it the Influencer Starter Kit. And I'll sell it like this.
That is.
Hey, baby. Want to chat?
Yeah. Your CRT's talking to 13-year-old girls. Stop it. Stop it.
Get out of here, you creep.
See you, Mr. Add-ons. Thanks for hanging around, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate your input.
Well, hey, it's been an awesome, fun stream today. We've gone for a while here. It's been fun. Well,
We've had some fun.
I've got the video guys coming to probably on Friday. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see. But that's all ready, so be on the lookout for that. Lewis, what do you got going on the rest of the week?
Just doing work around here. What am I doing? Saturday, I've got a leadership event. Me and my colleagues from Combat Ready, we're teaching a big Estonian company here. Got about 200 of their people, putting them through a leadership course on Saturday. So I'm doing that. I'll just be working at the office before that. Not much next week. We can do another stream. And I think actually, not this weekend, next weekend, I'm hosting a wedding. You know, I host weddings. It's great. A couple of Americans who work here at the embassy, actually. So they've got the reception, then we got to get everyone in a bus, like 200 people, and then they've got the speeches, and I handle all that and just sort of make sure that their wedding happens to plan. So yeah, they're always fun days. I get to put on the suit and look a little fancy, and it's nice. So I got a few things coming up this week.
That's good. That's good fun. I'd like to go to a wedding and have fun with you, but maybe sometime.
We're working on it. Don't worry. We'll have Steve and Lewis the return. Don't worry.
All right, everybody. We'll see you. Thank you for hanging out on this amazingly fun stream of CRT promotion.
Thank you, everyone.
Anyway,
we appreciate you hanging around.
Definitely, if you can, come and hang out at Retro World in 3 weeks. 3 of them. And otherwise, we'll see you all